2024 is the year that everything can end. In this video, we will reveal 4 trends that should be observed because they are clear signs that the end of times is near. Many times when we try to understand the book of Apocalypse, we think of natural catastrophes or supernatural phenomena. However, these signs that you will recognize today are concrete proof of biblical prophecies and are happening everywhere in the world at this very moment. In the midst of this era of uncertainty, we find ourselves at a crucial point aligned with biblical prophecies in the year 2024. We now present 4 trends worthy of attention. Importantly, this is not just a speech, but a call to be aware of prophecies that resonate with our world today. Daily, we witness scriptural signs materializing around us, and the relevance of these prophecies increases, and we cannot ignore the signs manifesting before us. Before we talk about the first trend, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications to help us bring you more revealing content like this. The first trend worth highlighting is the rise of global unity and governance, driven by the growing interconnectedness of the world through technology, trade, and geopolitics. We see increasing efforts to form more robust global alliances, possibly indicating a move toward a more unified global governance system. Biblical references, such as Revelation 13:7 and 8, speak of a world power that exercises authority over the language of each tribe. See what the verse says. And it was permitted him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given unto him over every tribe and tongue and nation. And all who dwell on the earth worshipped her, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, who was slain from the foundation of the world. What is becoming evident is a continuing trend toward global unity and governance, setting a worldwide stage for the emergence of a significant prophetic figure, the Antichrist. This wave of integration is not merely coincidence, but an essential step in laying the foundation for the emergence of the prophesied global leader, the Antichrist. When witnessing the formation of alliances and unions between countries, it is crucial to remember that we are not just dealing with geopolitics. We are witnessing the materialization of ancient prophecies. Scripture has long indicated the arrival of a man destined to lead the world, exerting unparalleled influence and controlling a vast global system. Therefore, it is essential to recognize that everything we observe in the world is interconnected. No event is independent, and nothing exists in isolation as long as we are attentive observers. The narrative of time moves forward, and it is crucial to remember that everything is intertwined. Every war, every murmur of conflict, every alliance and disagreement is part of the unfolding of God's prophetic plan. While current events may surprise you, know that we are not in a chaotic state. God orchestrates all events according to his prophetic chronology. Jesus, during his stay on earth, prophesied about the future, and the book of Revelation added details. As you observe global events or follow the news, ask yourself how it relates to biblical prophecy and how it connects to the Lord's return. Nothing, absolutely nothing, occurs in isolation. All contribute to God's prophetic chronology. In Revelation 13:7, it is mentioned that the saints were given power to wage war and overcome them, with authority over all tribes, tongues, and nations. Another trend to be observed is in the global economic scenario with the rapid growth of digital currencies. The call for a global digital currency is growing stronger, aiming to simplify transactions and establish a universally accepted economic system. This transition is not just about efficiency or security. It reflects the world's gradual movement towards unity in various sectors, including the economy. A unified digital currency could essentially give the predicted leader unprecedented control over global trade. As these trends unfold in 2024 and beyond, it is vital to not just perceive them as isolated geopolitical or economic events, but as significant pieces that fit into the broader puzzle of end-time prophecy. Observing these patterns and preparing hearts and minds for what is to come on the prophetic calendar is essential. The second trend, which involves technological advancements and the mark of the beast, highlights the remarkable progress we have witnessed in the field of science and technology over the last century or even two. If we went back in time, the realms of science and technology as we know them today would seem practically alien. From the beginnings of rudimentary machines to the complex digital world in which we are deeply immersed today, this journey has been a testament to the curiosity for innovation and a relentless pursuit of the unknown. The Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 16 and 17, evokes a vision that for centuries was interpreted as a distant, almost ethereal prophecy. This passage describes a future era in which people will have a mark on their right hand or forehead, a mark that will become the determinant of economic transactions. This requirement, without which it would not be possible to carry out fundamental actions such as buying or selling, has seemed unimaginable over the years. Technological evolution makes this biblical image increasingly plausible. The impressive pace at which technology advances is undeniable. Tasks and innovations that previously took decades, if not centuries, to come to fruition are now accomplished in just a few years or even months. We are living in an era where the dreams of the past are the present reality, and historical impossibilities, such as a global system monitoring all transactions, have become tangible possibilities. The biblical text of Revelation 13, 16-17, which portrays a brand as a determinant in economic transactions, begins to seem closer to reality. 200 years ago, the idea of such a level of surveillance was unthinkable and technically implausible. However, by 2024, the infrastructure needed for the kind of control and surveillance mentioned in these verses is already in place, suggesting that this trend may persist into the future. A clear example of this infrastructure are car apps and the way they collect our data. After a quick online search, it is clear that these applications, present in our vehicles, accumulate a significant amount of information about our lives. The routes we take and the current location to the desired destination are recorded in detail. Vital information about the vehicle, such as model and brand, is also collected for the purposes of identification and differentiation between the different vehicles available. The vehicle's license plate is also meticulously recorded, contributing to identification and security purposes. Furthermore, in accordance with the practices of these applications, to personalize communication and offer a service more adapted to our needs, they store information such as name and contact details. Additionally, personal preferences, including frequent destinations and payment options involving our card details, are stored in detail. So realize that all this information is recorded only through our vehicles. Now, what data do our cell phones and computers have about us? Or our cameras, or surveillance systems at our homes, banks, hospitals, and all these tools and institutions that we use every day? This brief reflection made me think about the intensity of surveillance to which we are currently subjected. The infrastructure that the Antichrist will use to rule the world is being established all around us, driven by technological advancement that is gradually approaching the reality described in Revelation 13. Over the years, numerous scholars and theologians have made imaginative calculations to identify the Antichrist through infamous number 666. However, I must admit that the true meaning of this number remains unknown, while paradoxically naming the believers on earth during this period. Undoubtedly, we will clearly understand, across the vast timeline of biblical prophecy and technological evolution, how advances in biotechnology, digital finance, and individual surveillance intertwine. A pattern emerges that intriguingly aligns with the mark of the beast prophecy. As we navigate this technologically advanced age, it is crucial to observe, reflect, and discern the third trend: apostasy and turning away from the true faith. Prudence for the year 2024. In the last moments we have witnessed is vital. The foundations of faith that support Christianity are shaken, with tremors appearing within the foundation itself. Paul's powerful words in 2 Thessalonians 2:3, warning of an imminent apostasy, are more relevant today than ever. See what Paul said. Let no one deceive you in any way, for this will not happen unless apostasy first comes, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of perdition. The term apostasy, originating from the Greek word apostasia, carries a deep meaning that encompasses the idea of departure, fall, desertion, and revolt. In 2 Thessalonians 2:3, the reference is not merely to a casual departure. This is a large contingent of people moving away from God. This is not an isolated minority, but an unprecedented global rebellion against God. Are we not witnessing this in our times? I have never witnessed anything similar. Over the years, we can observe significant changes in the world, a moral transformation of biblical proportions. The world seems to despise what is holy and righteous, embracing sin and ungodliness. There are churches today that openly allow pastors to live in sin, celebrating and glorifying injustice. By 2024, we will witness more of this great apostasy spreading among the nations. In churches, a growing number of apostates is observed, with the zeal that many previously had for the Lord diminishing and the love of many cooling down. To clarify further, the term apostates refers to individuals who have abandoned or renounced their religious faith, usually associated with defection from a previously held belief or value system. In religious contexts, especially Christianity, apostates are those who once professed the faith but later abandoned it. The concept is related to apostasy, which is the act of renouncing or moving away from a previously followed religion, belief, or doctrine. The church has infiltrated the world, and the world has infiltrated the church. Allow me to reiterate this statement, for it is profound and true. The church has infiltrated the world, and the world has infiltrated the church. As a believer, it is your duty to ensure that you do not conform to this world. It is essential to ensure that you are not influenced by worldly ideas and beliefs. The world will try to mold you according to its own ideologies, but your beliefs must be in line with God's Word, the Bible. This world will seek to persuade you to accept concepts that God does not approve of. He does not promote holy and righteous living, but rather endorses a doctrine of hedonism. The world pushes you towards immediate satisfaction and ephemeral pleasures. The predominant religion in this world is centered on the flesh, on carnal indulgence, and can lead you to think that you have the right to sin by prioritizing personal interests over others, or by continually giving in to sin simply because it is pleasurable. However, it is vital to remember that such influences will only move you further away from God's teachings. A disturbing trend is emerging from the world and infiltrating the church, where some people claim to be Christians but do not follow the Bible. This statement is contradictory, similar to saying that he is a vegetarian but consumes chicken and beef. The worldly ideas that infiltrate the church are unsettling. It is not possible to be a Christian and ignore the guidance of the Bible. The Bible offers clear guidance on how to live a life that honors God and benefits humanity. His teachings cover moral, ethical, and practical issues, providing a reliable guide for everyday decisions. By understanding his teachings, the Christian develops a deeper understanding of the divine character, thus strengthening his relationship with God. Furthermore, the Holy Book offers answers to life's challenges, providing comfort, guidance, and hope. His teachings are a compass in the midst of uncertainty, helping Christians to face adversity with faith and perseverance. These days, we are witnessing a significant departure from faith. It is crucial to recognize that many have already been led astray, and many more are on the brink. Devotion to God must be intentional, and the decision to follow Jesus must be deliberate. It is a conscious choice to walk the narrow path, as few will find it. Even as we witness this great apostasy unfold, make sure it does not overtake you. Hold on to your faith, adhere to sound doctrines, and remain faithful to the teachings of the Bible. The year 2024 holds promise, but also presents significant challenges. The Church's responsibility goes beyond defending against apostasy. It involves the active promotion of sound doctrine, ensuring that the faith, once delivered to the saints, remains intact and is not diluted. The fourth trend observed is moral decay and changes in social values, representing a grim scenario for 2024. Society is intricately intertwined by values, norms, and moral principles that solidify communities. When these foundations weaken or change, society inevitably undergoes a transformation. The gradual departure from traditional biblical teachings and values, as indicated in Paul's second letter to Timothy, so Timothy 3:1-5, becomes increasingly evident. Selfishness, pride, blasphemy, and loss of natural affection are on the rise, requiring a decisive approach to stem this moral decay. In this passage, Paul says the following: "But know this, in the last days difficult times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, greedy, boastful, prude, blasphemers, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, ungodly, without natural affection, unforgiving, slanderers, incontinent, cruel, enemies of good, traitors, bold, proud, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. Stay away from those too." This excerpt is a warning from the Apostle Paul to Timothy about the spiritual and moral conditions that will characterize the last days. It paints a bleak picture of humanity, highlighting negative characteristics and moral deviations that will intensify as time progresses. The warning emphasizes the importance of maintaining solid faith and not being influenced by these negative trends. A striking sign of this change is the alarming increase in selfishness. We live in an era where self-first has become predominant, reflecting the biblical warning about men becoming lovers of themselves. Husbands and wives prioritizing their own desires over family needs, and the celebrity pastor phenomenon, where leadership overrides the teachings of Jesus Christ, are indicators of this transformation. The spotlight on the ego is obscuring the vision of the needs of others. A new religion centered on the self and pleasure is emerging. This religion of pleasure is not new. Humanity has always been attracted to it. We live in an age dominated by pleasure seekers rather than God seekers. The contemporary mantra seems to be eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. This religion of pleasure is actually the worship of the flesh. We must remain vigilant, for our very nature is drawn to pleasure, including the ephemeral pleasure that sin offers. None of us are immune to this fascination. It is crucial to recognize the presence of this pleasure associated with sin, because only by facing this reality can we resist its seductions and remain faithful to the principles of faith. There is no contentment in sin. There is satisfaction in fornication, in adultery, in sexual immorality. The quest for discord, revenge, and the temptations of drugs and alcohol also offer their own forms of pleasure. Sin, in its various manifestations, can present itself as something attractive. However, before we go any further, allow me to share a significant verse, 1 Timothy 5:6. "But he who indulges in pleasure is dead, though he lives. He who seeks constant pleasure, especially in the ways of sin, is, in a sense, dead, for he is not living for God." The pleasure that comes from sin is ephemeral, deceptive, never lasting. It tries to incite the incessant desire for more, leading the person to an incessant search for satisfaction. In the world of 2024, there is a growing trend toward worship at the altar of pleasure, a selfish religion that encourages placing sinful desires above the well-being and future of loved ones. The message is clear. The pleasure of sin never lasts, deceiving with the illusion of durability. He constantly instigates the search for more, fueling an insatiable craving. The religion of pleasure in 2024 is notoriously selfish, leading people to prioritize their sinful desires above the interests and future of their loved ones. The exhortation is that we fall in love with our family, put their interests before pleasure. We must consider how our sinful acts can harm our families, causing divisions and separating us from our responsibilities and duties as spouses and parents. The momentary pleasure of sin should never override the priceless value of our family relationships. The attraction of pleasure from sin is illusory. He will try to trick you into believing that it is possible to live a double life. However, this is an illusion, as in reality it is not viable. Secret pleasures, hidden from the knowledge of your spouse and family, have the potential to destroy you. Sin, by its very nature, is deceptive and intrinsically destructive, as stated in Numbers 32:23, where it is warned that sin will eventually be revealed. It is imperative to understand that sin does not remain hidden indefinitely. The certainty that your sin will be discovered must prevail. In conclusion, as we approach 2024, the importance of being vigilant has never been more crucial. Trends encompassing technological advancement, the quest for global unity, apostasy, and moral decay are not just casual observations, but warning signs. These signs encourage us to reflect, discern, and act based on our convictions. As the world moves toward a new order, believers are called to find strength in their faith and the Scriptures. We must remain firm, nurturing our relationship with God and strengthening the foundations of our beliefs to face the challenges that arise. Thank you very much for watching the video until the end. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, share this video with a friend and feel free to share your opinion in the comments.